for another farm update video. But it is a very, very bright and sunny day. It's 70 degrees in the greenhouse and it feels really hot. These are the plants that I started from seed in the last video that I did. I moved them into these trays yesterday out of those little dishes like this that they were in the last video. These are our calendula. These are tong ho. It's a Asian chrysanthemum. Dara flowering carrot. We've got some itty bitty snapdragons in this tray. There's scabiosa, Colorado yarrow here, which are just starting to get their second cute little leaves. These are echinacea. Then there's foxglove in the next row, which is really hard to see. Magic Fountains delphinium, I got 3 of those, and I got 3 belladonna delphinium and 2 larkspur. So those were not super great, but I've still got the trays and I'm hoping more will come. The back there is all bee balm. Then this tray is, I believe, all blanket flower, which I'm going to start more of those today. I'm in the small greenhouse. That side is still pretty messy, but down here at this end I've got room to keep stuff. So I'm just going to show you outside the window out here today too. There's our house. This is the garden. This is where our tomatoes normally are planted. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of snow. We had some melting yesterday, but probably 10 or 12 inches total over the last week. And our temperatures have been really cold. The lowest we got was -18, and then last night we were at 5 below zero. Okay, so now here are all the seeds that I brought outside to work on getting started today. I'm not going to probably get all of them, but here we are. So I have this nigella seed. This is the one I grew last year, and I just direct sowed it about this time, maybe a little bit earlier. I think it was actually like the very end of January, and I put it outside, and I missed that window this year, and now the ground is frozen solid and covered in a foot of snow. So I'm gonna start these in trays and hope that I can transplant them. I tried some in trays last year and they didn't really work, but I'm hopeful that I can plant them out earlier and that they will like that. Got this, this is a carnation. I've never grown these before, but it said start them 10 to 12 weeks before last frost, so I'm doing that today. I've got more bachelor buttons, but this mix I didn't have when I direct sowed the bachelor buttons that are out there. I guess I should say the bachelor buttons that I hope are out there, because they are buried under snow under my frost cloth tunnel, and we did get down to -18, so hopefully they're okay. These are my Polish pastels yarrow, which I grew last year, and they were still alive. I put a tunnel over them before this cold snap, even though they're supposed to be a perennial down to zone 2. And we're in zone 6, or last week, 5. So hopefully we'll be okay with these. I've got my snapdragon seeds here. I have this Costa mix from Johnny's, and I have the Potomac custom mix from Johnny's. So I'm going to start some of both of those. So then I've got this Rudbeckia Sahara. For whatever reason, this Rudbeckia says 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. So that's why it's out here, even though I'm growing 3 other varieties and they all say 5 to 7 weeks. Cold tolerant stuff, I use a different last frost date. If it says like plant them out after your last frost, I'm assuming that's going to be in mid-April, where if I'm planting something that likes warm weather, I'm not going to plant it out until May. This is that tong ho, the Asian chrysanthemum that I was talking about, that I started some of, and these are all seeds I saved last year, which is cool because I planted this whole packet last year and they were so pretty. You can see them. They never got that big. I definitely didn't have plants bigger than a small child, but they were really pretty. They bloomed really early. They didn't really mind the cold, though they don't really want to freeze solid. So this baggie is dill seed that I saved. I'm going to try some early dill this year too. Last year I planted dill out with all the other warm stuff, and then I was like, oh yeah, it does fine in the cold. So I'm going to plant that a little earlier. And then this is the Maximilian perennial sunflowers, which I actually already grow these. I want to fill in my perennial row in the flower field with some other stuff like that. Anyway, that's what I'm starting today. So now I'm gonna go get my trays and see if I can break off some chunks of potting soil if it's warm enough. Okay, so I got these trays filled, so I'm gonna just put the seeds in this pretty much dry potting soil, and I put water in the bottom of the tray so it will soak up over the next several hours. Okay, so another thing we talked about a little bit last time was these plant labels that I made out of various plastic containers. I made hundreds of them just by cutting up. Like this was the lid to a lunch meat container. This probably came with salad in it, you know, that sort of thing. It's just a great way to make labels out of recycled materials. Okay, so here are my trays that I just seeded. They have saran wrap over them to hold in some of the moisture because this hot sun on this 25-degree day can really dry them out. And they're still fully moistening because I didn't pre-moisten the potting soil. As I mentioned, these first 3 trays are the Nigella, and then I did a tray of carnations and 1 of yarrow. And I am feeling kind of done for today. Also ran out of thawed potting soil, so I'll need to put some in the house or something. But you can see all through here. Here's all my baby plants. And over here, more baby plants. I like to plant and germinate in this little greenhouse. I'm all set up with my workspace. This is where I've been sitting on a bucket and using this top of this table to do all my seeds. So I like to do that in here. And after being so hot in here, I always hope that I'll go outside and there'll be melted snow. But no. So what you're seeing here is this plastic setup. There's a door. It's like a greenhouse inside a greenhouse. And then here's all my plant babies. And here's my little ranunculus. It is definitely warm enough right now. Here's some more. Most of them are up. And then over here, we have anemones right there. I think I'm showing you one. There's one right there. There's not a lot of them up. There's those 2 and then a few more, but I've spot checked them, dug them up basically, and they have roots. I don't think I let them pre-sprout long enough. So when I moved them out here and it was so cold, they've been kind of delayed. I mean, there's my heaters, not the most traditional greenhouse heater out there, but they definitely do the job. I'm only using the heaters on nights where it's going to be probably 15 degrees or colder. It has been a temperature roller coaster in here lately. There's really nothing I can do about it at this point. I've been trying to vent the windows if it's above 25 or so, which is today. We are just about there. We're supposed to get up to a high of 30, and it does feel really warm in here, but it's going to get down to somewhere between 17 and 7 tonight. Who knows? Last night they said 5 and it got down to 5 below. So I'm hoping that this will be the last really cold night. That's what they're saying. So we're gonna let it really warm up in here today, and then I'll put the covers on everything and hope that that keeps it warm enough for one more night. And then it's supposed to be like a low in the low 30s or something, and that'll be fine. Or the upper 20s, low 30s, I don't know, but that'll be fine. I won't even run the heater if it's gonna be 28, but or whatever they said the low for the next week was. But we're almost done. Yay. This is the flower field. It's a little different right now. Okay, here's the quail. I'm just checking on them. It was 7 degrees last night and -7 the night before. This should be the last of the really cold weather. They've done pretty well with it. They're not very old, if you remember and have seen our quail video. We just hatched them, I don't know, like 7 weeks ago? 6 weeks ago, something like that. I may have to take back what I was saying about wanting it to melt. It's melted, but or not all of it. There's still plenty out there. This section is melted, but the ground is still frozen. So it's not soaking in, and it's not running off. Fun. Okay, the moment of truth. I'm gonna try to move the rocks and look under this tunnel and see how our bachelor buttons are looking after that one. Oh, this is really stuck, really cold night. Oh, they look a little sad. Okay. Okay, so that's our farm update. I hope you liked it. I'm up to 1,000 or so seeds planted, counting our first 5 trays here that I showed you, and then all of those back there, and woo, there's some down there. Great camera work. So I need to just keep going. I've barely made a dent in my February list, and it's the 20th. So we'll see what pops up here in the next week or so. The temperatures should be really good for germinating this cool weather stuff.